So your house has been sitting on the market, it's been 50 or 100 or 150 days without a showing, and you are considering lowering the price. Was it your idea? Was it your real estate agent's idea? Certainly, it's a very easy thing to say, hey, we should lower the price. It means that you don't have to think about any other factors about why your house isn't selling. So what can you do differently? And is price the reason your house is not selling? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please like or subscribe or comment below. I love seeing your questions and comments, and it gives me ideas of what to talk about, what people are wondering about in the industry. And this is designed to be a two-way conversation. It's not just me staring at the camera. I'm talking to you, and I like hearing back from you. So you got to this channel, either you've been subscribing or you've been Googling that you're thinking about lowering your price, and then you found this channel, you found me. I am Maschler with Signature Real Estate Finder. Been a real estate broker in Florida for over 20 or 25 years. That number keeps growing. I don't seem to age, but it gets longer and longer and longer the more that I do this. So let's address the question, should you lower your price? If you're thinking about lowering your price, that tells me that you listed your house and it hasn't sold, right? You hired a good real estate agent, you took all the photos, you got all the marketing together, and for whatever reason, the house hasn't sold yet. Either you're thinking about or your realtor is suggesting that you lower the price and you're wondering if you should. Price is one reason, probably the main reason why the house isn't selling, but there can be others. And if you can't figure out what that something else is, then yes, it's probably the price. Will lowering the price help? Absolutely. But if you have other issues with your house, then lowering the price may not help you, may only hurt you because you don't want to sell it for less money than you deserve. So you really have to sit back and you want to look at all your marketing, go online. Just because your realtor told you that the house is listed doesn't mean it's listed the way you think it should be. So you want to start with go online, find the listing, go to all the syndicated sites where it's listed, go through the pictures, go through the descriptions. Is everything accurate? I can't tell you how many times I look at a listing that hasn't sold, and it's because the pictures are wrong. Certainly in Florida, we don't have seasons like I see in the Northeast, but I can't tell you how many times in August I see a photo of a house with snow because the house hasn't sold in 6 months. So someone says to me, hey, Matt, I know you're a realtor in Florida. I have this house in New Jersey. We're thinking about lowering the price. Can you tell me, should we lower the price? I look at the listing and I see snow in the pictures, and I know that this listing is not being cared for. It's not being marketed properly. So you could lower the price, but maybe it's not going to affect things. Read the description. If it says this house will not last, but now it's 150 days and it hasn't sold, you know that that description is wrong. Realtors out there, I want you to go to your listings once a week at minimum. Certainly you could do it more often, but every week I want you to go to your listings, go through all of the pictures, go through the descriptions. Is it telling a story? Is it correct? If you change your photos around, change the first photo, but the second photo is the first photo, you'll present fresh and new on the websites, and it can bring extra eyeballs and extra marketing to your house. Make sure the descriptions should be about the house. Shouldn't be about the neighborhood, shouldn't be about the market, shouldn't be about other things other than the house. Don't just make a list of features. If the house isn't selling, go through your marketing, start over, and look at all of the steps that it took to make that listing and get it online, and go through all of those and change them. Change the pictures, change the descriptions, and freshen it up, because the same people are looking online. If someone's looking in a neighborhood in Boca, they're constantly every day looking at that neighborhood in Boca, and if they saw your house 4 weeks ago, there's no reason for them to look again, except for price. Once you've isolated all of these things and you say, really, it's overpriced. Now, let me talk to you a second about price. Pricing a house is not a scientific formula. You can't exactly tell how to price a house. It's a little subjective. You look at what other similar houses have sold for, you look at what the house features, and you look at what the environment is. But many times, as realtors, we get the pricing of the house wrong. Pricing it too high or pricing it too low. You know you priced it too low when you get lots and lots of showings, right? You know you priced it too high when you don't get no showing requests. So should you lower your price? In those situations, yes. That's going to be the number one solution. If you're getting people to come and look at the house and they're not making offers, now you have to figure out why. What's wrong with the house? And there may be something other than price that's wrong with the house, which is why you're not getting those offers. So you really want to identify what the issue is. If you get a low offer, if you're the seller, you get a low offer, don't get insulted, right? Don't think, oh, it's obnoxious, they're not a real buyer. This is a buyer that actually likes your house. This is the last person you want to tell off. If you get a lowball offer or something you perceive as a lowball offer, use it as a starting point, as a negotiating point, because they're saying the same thing about you. They think your house is priced too high and you're being ridiculous. Use it as a starting point. Let your realtor negotiate. Don't take offense and refuse to counter because the offer is too low. I often wonder, well, what offer is high enough to get a counter, but low enough to still be too low? It's not an exact science. So you want to really understand the market and understand the pricing of the houses and of similar houses. You also want to look at what does that price buy in the neighborhood, even if the house isn't similar. If your house is listed at $850 and it's the lowest price comp in your neighborhood and you think it's priced right, well, what does $850 buy 5 miles away or 10 miles away, right? That's your competition. So you want to look at that. So if you should lower your price, if your question is, should you lower your price? Maybe. And it depends on what are people buying. If they're not buying your house, what are their alternatives? If you're not getting showings, if you're getting low offers, these are indications that your house may be overpriced. Talk to your realtor, have an honest conversation, sit down, look at the comps, look at the numbers, and decide what it is you could do to attract a buyer other than lowering the price. What are your alternatives? And then lower the price. There are two scenarios why you would be asking, should I lower the price? Either you are considering lowering the price, you think your house might be listed too high or you're not getting the showings, or your listing agent, your realtor, is suggesting to you that you lower the price. Either way, my best advice to you is have a real conversation with your realtor. Realtors are trained professionals. For the most part, they do know what they're doing. There's a reason you hired, of the thousands of realtors in your neighborhood or the hundreds on your street, there's a reason you hired the realtor you did. So listen to them and take advantage of their expertise. Unfortunately, if you're listed with a real estate agent, you can't go to another realtor to say, hey, what do you think? We really don't want to interfere with each other's customers. If you have a listing agreement with a realtor, that's the person you should be talking to. If you need to talk to someone else, talk to their broker. You can come to me for advice. I don't want to interfere with another realtor's relationship with you. I'm not going to tell you what your house is worth, but certainly ask me questions in the comments. General questions. I'm not going to interfere on an individual basis with a real estate customer and their agent because there's a lot of rules against that. But you can ask me questions in the comments and I'm happy to assist in any way that I can.